Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Spirit Channel podcast. As always, I'm your host, Zenith, and in this episode, I'm going to take a bit of a left turn. It's not what I had planned. It's not how I wanted this initial series to run. My idea for this initial series was to get basic spiritual concepts talked about and developed and understood before perhaps moving on to more in-depth subjects and more ideas and concepts. But I just feel like I need to get this out there and recorded and off my chest because it's been sitting here the past few days. I've taken a bit of a break from, I know it was only a week since the last podcast, but I've actually taken a bit of a break from researching, from writing, from reading sort of spiritually material, and I've been advised by my guides, by my higher self, that I need to reconnect for myself. I need to take time out to continue my own spiritual practices. A large part of that is meditation, so I have been missing that. And once you commit yourself to a form of meditation and practice that meditation regularly, any length of time in which you go without that, you really do keenly miss it. So this is kind of what I've been doing. But combined with that, I had a bit of a vision, a bit of an epiphany. A few previous nights past, I was thinking sort of during the early hours of the morning, if I always do, my mind always races, it never stops, just about spiritual awakening, about people in society, about recognizing who is on the cusp or who is searching for meaning in their life, and those who are out there who are oblivious to this, who have no inkling or no concept of this here. But you do encounter people that you do feel on a level that they are searching, they are seeking something, that on a perhaps a conscious or subconscious level, there's some unhappiness in their life. They can't quite put their finger on it, but they're searching for deeper meaning. And these are the people who are drawn to you. They're drawn to your light. And you can feel it off them, you can see it off them, you can hear it in their voices. It's quite sad because it's mostly accompanied by a kind of monotone voice and a kind of a shutting of oneself in, because they are, although instinctively they perhaps know that there's something maybe different about you, but they can't voice that. And it's quite sad because they are what came to me, a songbird. And I was actually singing a song called Cage of Songbird. And the concept of a songbird that came to me is the idea of a bird in a cage. Could be a gilded cage, but ultimately a beautiful, ornate, most sparkling cage, but ultimately it is a cage. It is a cage in which that songbird may be able to warble its song, but ultimately it cannot spread its feathers. It is not free. It is trapped in the cage, so it cannot express its true self. And as I said, many of these people that you feel are searching for something on a deeper level, that just need the right person, the time to sit down with that person, to begin to talk and take on board concepts and ideas, and ultimately perhaps that person may have a spiritual awakening, but they cannot express this in words because of society has made them into songbirds, because they are in their own cage, as each and every one of us is in their own cage. We are trapped in our own cages. We are separated from each other. We have things that we would like to discuss. We have ideas that we would like to talk about openly. We have perhaps things about ourselves in which we wonder, does anyone else feel like this? It may be a positive and negative idea or concept, but does anyone else think about this? Does anyone else feel the same way that I feel? Does anyone else go through the same events and situations that I do? Does anyone else have issues and problems like I do? But because we're all separate, because we have no other form of communication other than language at the minute, we are afraid. We are afraid to take that leap of faith. We are afraid to verbalize and voice these ideas and concepts and thoughts without that assurity, without that confidence, without that knowing that there is other people out there who do experience what they go through. And because of that, people in society, people in general, because of this unknowingness, they are afraid. They are afraid of ridicule. They are afraid of becoming a laughing stock, of seeming like a fool. And so what happens then is that they bury these feelings, these thoughts, this desire for expression, because we are all separate. In the higher planes of existence, we are free. Certainly freer in a degree that we perhaps most of us cannot comprehend on this physical plane of existence. We are free not to communicate by clumsy spoken language. We understand, we feel what another entity is going through, what another entity's thoughts are. We can communicate via telepathy. But even that is perhaps limiting our way. We communicate through feelings. We communicate through concepts. We don't need to express words, because a feeling is something that is much greater than any form of written or oral language can ever hope to match. We communicate through feelings. We communicate through concepts. One small feeling that is felt by another is worth 10,000 words, and them 10,000 words would still not would still not truly convey what that one feeling conveyed. We are all in connection with each other. We all know what each other has went through, the past that one another entity has been through. There is no guilt, there is no shame, there is no mocking. We have just an innate understanding of each entity and a realization of where we are in existence, our connection to the Creator, what physical life is all about, and what our soul path is all about. Certainly in the higher positive realms, there is no judgment, there is no anger, there's just love for one another, understanding, compassion. Everyone is in connection with each other. Anyone can find each other in an instant. So you imagine living in existence like that there, living each day. If there is no day up there, there is no time. There's no time to think, well, this day is nearly done and night falls upon us. There is nothing like that. There is just a blissful state of existence. Now you imagine living an existence like that there, and then incarnating into a physical body where all of that is gone, where that communication through that natural state of concepts, of feelings, of telepathy even is gone. that recognition of another by their light, by their colour, that connection with each and every other soul, with each and every other entity, that connection to the source, to the creator, that knowing, that knowledge of what your life path is all about, of your soul path, of all your previous incarnations, all of that, all gone. That state of existence where everyone is in harmony with each other, where everyone knows what each other has been through, what everyone knows, what everyone's life path has been, what everyone has experienced up to now, all gone. You've incarnated into a world of separation where you're on your own. You cannot communicate to anyone other than verbalization, perhaps on a small level emotion. Where there's conflict, where there's strife in the world, where there are people who seek to do you harm, where there are people who are willing to ridicule you. And so this is a very tough world. This is a very tough state of existence to have all that taken away, where you cannot travel except by the use of your physical limbs, and even then, not very far. And it takes time which is something that you're not familiar with. It takes time to actually get somewhere. You cannot move somewhere in an instant. You cannot think of somewhere and you're there in an instant. All of that, all gone. And you're blind. You are blind to everything that you once knew. You have no knowledge of everything that you once knew. You only have, on a deep subconscious level, a thorn in your mind, an itch that you can't scratch. That, is this it? Is this all that there is? This can't be it. This just can't be all that there is to this thing. And again, this is even if you have the time to sit and think, because modern life is so busy, so hectic, so many distractions, so much noise, so much chaos, so much pollution. It's amazing that we even get that small peace of mind to actually sometimes think about this. The only chance that we generally do is when we're on our own or we are out in nature. And so what happens then is that the further we go through life, we become closed off. We retreat even further into our mind because we have nowhere to go to teach us this. We have no schools. We have no, shall we say, masters. We have no place that is particularly advertised on the television, on the TV. It is not widely known. We have a society that largely ridicules the idea of a hereafter, of a spirit world. We deal in cold, hard material facts. And because of that, we become songbirds. We become trapped in gold-gilded cages, fooling ourselves that we are free, that we are free to express ourselves, that we are free to do and say whatever we want. But again, we're actually not, because we are, because of this idea, this concept of each in their own cage and afraid to verbalize, to express yourself. We largely agree unconsciously what our society should look like, what our idea of what a man should look like, what a woman should look like, what way a man should behave, what way a woman should behave, what people are free to say and what people are not free to say, what way people are free to act and what way people are not free to act. And so it becomes a very limited existence. But because we become so used to this concept of society, this existence, we begin to think that this existence is all that there is. And so when we think that this existence is all that there is, we begin to think that there's nothing wrong with this existence. This is just how it's always been. And there is nothing wrong with this. So when we see someone who steps out of this concept of or this straitjacket, um, and starts behaving and acting and perhaps dressing and talking in a manner which is deemed acceptable by this unconsciously held view of which way a society should be, we get disturbed, we get agitated, we get angry even, and we start to condemn and ridicule and shun those type of people. But perhaps in our heart of hearts, we secretly yearn to be able to be like that person, to be free like that person. And so we go back to the idea of being a songbird, a bird in a cage, warbling a song, but unable to truly express itself, to be unable to flap its wings. And it's a very, very sad thing. And it's a very horrible thing, maybe, to have this conscious realization that each and every person is trapped in their own cage, afraid and unable to express and to ask and to verbalize things that are agitating them, to ask questions that they don't know whether or not they will be ridiculed for, to be mocked for. And so again, we retreat to our man-made barriers, our man-made definitions of limited society and limited concepts of what we should do. And as I said, if only we could turn that around, if only we could express ourselves, even myself. I'm not free to truly be who I want to be. I am not truly free to express myself to the fullest because of this, and it's due to a lack of bravery on some part. I will acknowledge that, but it's also to do with the fact that I have responsibilities. I have responsibilities to other people, and if I was to truly express who I wanted to be, if I was truly free to do, or sorry, not truly free, if I was to truly express the person that I wish to be, if I truly express my true nature, then it wouldn't be me who would perhaps be the object of ridicule, who wouldn't be the object of scorn, who wouldn't be the talk of whispers. It would be the ones who I hold dear in my life, who perhaps would not understand this, who would suffer, who, like everyone else, are trapped in their own limited definitions of what is acceptable and what isn't. I can't openly talk about the fact that I am I don't even like using the word spiritualist, that I am in a way spiritual, that I have this connection with beings in higher realms that a lot of people don't even believe in, never mind claim to be in connection with, that I receive messages and impressions and information about people and events and objects. I'm not truly free to express that. And again, if I did, then I would be met with all sorts of questions, accusations, people asking me to prove it, and this is not what I'm here for. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. But and so in a way, I'm trapped within my own cage too, and as I said, it is extremely admirable for people who do not have to, who can truly lead the spiritual life, who can stand up and turn around and say, yes, I am this person. This is me. This is me to the fullest. But perhaps those people are already living and already known to perhaps be spiritualists, to be mediums and psychics and stuff like that. But for those of us who don't do that, we have a mundane job, we have a day-to-day, we have responsibilities, we have people that we love and people that we are close with who rely on us, who need us. And because of that, we have to perhaps turn the dial down, close ourselves off a bit, box ourselves in a little bit, and darken some of that light that we wish to shine out into the world. And so it's, as I said, it's knowing that this is the way our society is one thing. Being able to do something about it is different. But some of us, I guess, are more free than others. And certainly, although I recognise the cage of my own, I also recognise the fact that I am mostly free. And that ultimately, as long as I know that I have my connection to those in the higher realms, and that I am free to record these messages, that I am free to write, and it doesn't particularly bother me that much that I can't go out into the world as truly and shine myself as truly as I would like to be. It's those others who have no real concept of this and who just are trapped within their own cages. And if only they would see that the key is simply taking that step to being brave, to simply asking the question, then they would realize that the cage that's holding them in is really illusionary, is a cage of their own making, and they're free to step out of that cage at any time that they want. That it is all just an illusion. The cages that we hold ourselves in are just illusionary, much in the same way that this life is just an illusion, that this physical life that we lead now, this body that we inhabit, is largely an illusion. We talk about the spirit world, we talk about spirit as if they are somewhere different, as if they're over there or they're up there, that it is a different state. And sometimes, we don't actually consciously stop to think what it all means at the end of the day. We think that we are the smart ones. We don't really give too much thought to what actually is the spirit. Well, what happens after you die, and why do we keep coming back here to reincarnate, if you even believe that? We don't actually ask the deeper questions about this. In a way, we think that we are the ones who are superior, in a way, that we are the smart ones. But really, those realms of existence are actually the real states of being, the real realms. This world that we inhabit now, this illusionary sense of self that we get when we look in the mirror, is in actual fact the illusion, the great illusion. And it is illusion because we are all songbirds. We are all separated. We are all in our own cages. It's not like this. It's not meant to be like this. And as we and the world begins to change, these barriers hopefully will begin to break down. We will begin to feel that overwhelming urge to express ourselves, to be able to have the courage to step outside of our box, to step outside of our gilded cage, and to start becoming freer, and to start asking the things that are on our mind to begin to itch that, or scratch that itch, to begin to speak our true minds, and further from that, to begin to express ourselves with feelings and with emotions, and to be truer in a way that we're currently not. This is my hope for the future, anyway. And I'm going to leave you with that, and I hope that I made some sort of sense, and that you get the idea of what I'm trying to explain. As I said, just to close, this idea and this podcast is something that I wanted to keep for perhaps a later series, until I had got what I believe and what I hope to be the basics and the fundamentals of spirituality covered. But I feel this gnawing sensation that I needed to record this and to get it out there. So perhaps there will be a few people who will be able to relate to this, and perhaps will begin to make the changes in their lives that they feel they need to make. And so with that, I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to leave you with my love, my light, my eternal gratitude, and a hopefulness that you will continue to join me on my path as I learn and as I grow along with you. And a deep gratitude once again for anyone and all who join me on this path. Until next time, this is your host, Zenith, signing out.